So don't go away, who knows? Tonight we may lose the battle.
This has been a dream of yours since you were a teenager.
I first came across Cabaret when I was about, I think 14 or 15 years old. And there was a school production that was being done and I was cast as the MC. I didn't know anything about it and I found the piece itself, even at that age, everything that I love about theatre, I found it seductive, I found it thrilling, I found it very funny, I found it deeply moving and it made me think. And so as a 15-year-old, it was the thing that made me really want to pursue being an actor, really. And it's remained that way. Years, 30 years or whatever it is on, the character remains as enigmatic and as enticing and the experience, I just keep pinching myself that we're actually here in New York doing it.
Eddie's not just starring in this revival of Cabaret, he's also a co-producer. He was heavily involved in the inception and creative vision for this revival.
We started putting this idea together of a night at Cabaret, but in which from the second you step over the threshold, you are being subsumed by the world of it. So it becomes an evening in which you're swimming in Weimar, Germany, rather than just the show itself.
Huge hit over in London, you win the Olivier Award alongside your friend Jessie Buckley.
Yeah.
Now you're here.
Yeah.
What has it been like to do Cabaret on Broadway, the place where Cabaret first began?
It's been totally extraordinary. Cabaret is born, New York is in the fabric of the piece in so many ways. It's had such an extraordinary history here. It's so part of the fabric of Broadway that it's really dumbfounding. And also as a British actor, you know, Broadway is the thing. It's the most seductive place on earth.
Eddie follows in the ginormous footsteps of Alan Cumming, who starred in the 1998 and 2014 revivals, and Joe Gray, who originated the role of the MC on both the stage and screen.
The other night here in New York, he came to see the show on his birthday, on his 92nd birthday, which, as you can imagine, was pretty intimidating. But there was this moment when I'm dressed as a Pierrot, as this clown, and I introduce a scene, and then I go and sort of perch on the edge of this stage, and I didn't know where Joel was sitting, and suddenly 2 rows back, I just saw this face looking at me. It's got this puckish look to him, and he looked at me, and he put his hand on his heart and reached out to me. I mean, thank God I was in character, because I would not have been able to cope with that if I was, but he's been so lovely.
Doing the show right now in 2024, it's a reality check. What we are seeing in this theater, we're seeing outside on the streets. We're seeing it here in New York City.
One of the things that stuns me about the piece is it was written very specifically about a moment in history. But it was written in the 60s, 20 years after the end of the Second World War, in which there were already parallels to be drawn. It was then put on again, iconically in the 90s, where there was a war going on in Eastern Europe. And now, certainly when we were in London and Ukraine was invaded, and here now what's going on in the world, I don't think it's ever felt so desperately relevant. But what I think is extraordinary and a testament to the piece is that it's so sharp in its specificity of the period, and it can be seen in that way, or it can be seen with these ripples across the decades. The tragedy of the piece is it plays as a warning in some ways.
I recently saw a photo of you, 15 years old, 14 years old, as the MC,
Right.
smiling with a face full of
Yeah.
makeup. What would you say to that kid?
Well, I mean, I'm sort of doing it for that kid. People, including me, throw around the idea of living your dreams a lot, but this really is my dream, was my dream. When my mum and dad came and saw it on opening night, they sort of reaffirmed that in me and how rare it is that one actually gets to live that. And to have my kids singing the songs and my wife coming to the dressing room and doing all this on Broadway, it's It's pinch-worthy stuff.
Thank you for watching our YouTube channel. For more stories in your communities, click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV for the latest information, balanced coverage, weather updates every 10 minutes, and more. We'll see you then.